Hey guys, today's Sunday, October the 22nd of 2023. And I want to go over the dollar, the energy, and the metals. So without any further delay, let's get into it. I want to just let you guys know that I have a Twitter account, and sometimes when I can do a video and I see something developing and I have some time, I'll take a little snapshot and send it out to you guys. For those that are following me, to keep an eye on this, something important. And one of them was the natural gas. I said keep an eye on 347 using the square of 9 of Gann, and a lot of people found that very valuable. So, but sometimes I just can't do a video just to do that. I mean, I'm very limited on time, and I got other projects I'm working on. So that will be like your outlet to see my on a daily basis my what's cooking and noodling in my mind, and what I'm noticing that I could just shoot a tweet or X tweet or whatever out there. So keep that in mind if you want more up to date current analysis that you don't have to wait for a video. Just kind of what I'm noticing. So let's get into uranium. So we can see we hit a high here and we pulled back. This is a weekly chart, and now we are retracing, which is I call a snapback. So snapping back. So we took out the one of the center of gravities, which is 71. So that's good. That's positive. We're at least above that. And now we're going to test the 7330, which is right here. Now, what could happen? Could we just hit it, fail, and then maybe do another leg lower? That's possible. We could hit it, maybe just go sideways. That's very possible. We could hit it and continue sideways to grinding higher and maybe get to at least 77, which is my ultimate target. I've had this target since, I don't know, maybe last year. Can't remember when I put that video. But that was my ultimate target. Once we get there, we'll see what happens. At least you reach the midpoint between the high and the low. You're in the middle now. Once you get there, you gain a lot to get here. Can it continue going higher? Yeah, of course. Anything can happen. Can it fail here and go down? Yep. Can it just go sideways? That's possible too. Other things to keep in mind is if you study Gann's theory, there's a 7-year cycle that's coming, and it's going to hit in November. So that's smack in the middle right here. So I got October and I got January. And November is the kill zone, the hot spot for this cycle, 7-year cycle. You may hit there, go down, may hit there, do nothing, continue. But just want you to be aware that that's one of Gann's theory. And I'm a student of Gann, so I keep these things, up in my radar. I just don't know what's going to happen. We just got to see what price action is going to do once we get there. But it looks like it may want to go. And if it's going to continue with some Momo, 77 could be your target, or even higher. But I want to see what happens in November. And I'm giving it a little wiggle room of December and January, 2 months to the right, and see what happens. If nothing happens, then we got nothing to worry about. The uranium bull market will continue, but if something happens somewhere around here in November, you got to be very watchful and vigilant. So I'll leave that at that. We're going to be introducing another brother here, or sister, however you want to call it. Coal. I want to keep tracking coal too. You can see that we hit a peak somewhere around here, around 377 in August of 2022. And then it got this really good pullback. And as of right now, we around July, we did a low of 111, and now it's like kind of waking up again. So we're going to include this on our, when we can, on our analysis, just to keep an eye on coal. It's interesting that we spiked all the way up and then spiked down. I want to see if it's going to retrace up. Looking at our brothers and sisters, you can see crude Got this nice little pullback, and now this pop back up. I think it's going to reach 100, but we'll see. That's the next target. It's very mixed, especially with the war in Iran. Anything could happen, and things could really get really crazy. But so far, it hasn't continued selling off. It's kind of retracing. We just got to see if we could take that high. Same thing with Brent, just a mirror of this. Heating oil, kind of the same thing. Kind of waking up now, got to retrace. And now looks like it wants to retest that high again and see if we could blow right through it. And what's interesting is that natural gas, and I'm going to show you in the daily chart, has been pulling back while everybody else now is kind of retesting. And we made a high, and now we're kind of testing support. And natural gas, RBOB, looks like it's the worst one of all these guys right here. It really pulled back, and now it's kind of retracing now. Ethanol, it's at 234. And let's look at the daily, and you'll see what I'm showing. See natural gas pulling back really hard. Look at all the other brothers and sisters here. Crude, Brent, heating oil, RBOB, even ethanol. Natural gas is the black sheep of the family. It's the special one. Once it's going to go down, everybody goes up. Remember I told you about that weird pattern? Everybody goes up, natural gas goes down, natural gas goes up, everybody goes down. Even, ethanol, everybody goes down. So natural gas is the black sheep, is the inverse, is the one that doesn't behave and it doesn't want to do what everybody does. It wants to do its own thing. So when these guys are up, natural gas going down. When natural gas wants to go up, everybody gets smacked. Let me know if you notice that pattern, but this is perfectly playing out, as I mentioned on another video that I was talking about. Let's see, I think I messed up here. Let's close this here. I got this open. Kind of rusty, I haven't done a video in a while. Look at crude oil. So we got a PPS sell signal. And we were kind of chopping around the 37.5, which is 84. And now it's back at 89.17. So it's above the 33.3%. So it looks like it wants to test that PPS sell signal and test that 92 level and obviously the 94. Even though you can see some weakness here, you got PPS buy signal here, and it's like chucking along. So it's positive on the short term, which is daily. And on the weekly, we got a Hikanashi candle, which is positive. Mobile bands are positive. So it looks good. Nice little retracement, natural pullback, and looks like maybe do another leg higher if we could take out 94. As you can see, RBOB was a little deeper on the retrace, came in really hard, and you can see the squeeze play here triggered short here. But you know what? It's for some reason when it triggers short, it's late. Look at that right here. It's telling you to go short right here, and then right here is where ideally you get the original sell signal on the weekly. You let it, retrace, and then here is ideally where you want to go short in this, believing that this is your turning point. But you can see here, squeeze play tells you, it looks like momentum is to the upside, but then the trigger to go short is here. But I see that it's kind of late. So I think maybe a way to maybe get an edge on this would be to maybe use the SOAP indicator. Because the SOAP indicator, let's see, so it was send you a signal on 8/7. It was actually earlier than the PPS signal. So this is actually really good right here. It was telling you, watch out for possible turning point. And when the week of A7 came, you got this in your signal. Then the PPS came in the next week. So that confirmed that. And then your entry point to go short when you get that bounce would have been on the snapback of the SOAP bar right here. that peak, what David Elliott will call the TP tent thing. I think he used to call it back then, or something TP. That's your snapback. So that's when you would go short. When you notice that spike like that and it goes down, that's you probably get in on this one because you'll see it developed here. And then you get this nice little wave. Anyway, I digress. I don't even know why I went off track here, but maybe I should probably use a soap instead of the squeeze. But anyway, PPS buy signal now on RBOB. So it looks like it's trending. Could it be another leg down lower? We'll see. As long as we don't get anything negative here on the daily, so far is looking good, even with crude. Natural gas, you can see we hit a high here. 3 something and change. It's pulling back. It's kind of in the range now here. Could it fill in that gap? We'll see. PPS sell signal kicked in here. And it just got short. See my videos? I'm not even going to go. You guys know my video. Just watch my videos on natural gas. Let's go to heating oil. Same thing. Kind of going sideways here. This is that big trend line from the top. It's above it. It went below it and now snapped back PPS. So it looks like it wants to test this and test this high of 350. But it's in a range. So you got the pivots that tell you we're now in a range. And it's either going to break above here, continue going sideways, or break below. And so far, it's kind of in the middle. But you need to at least break at least 331 to at least have a fighting chance to test 350. Same thing on the daily right here. You're in this range. And if we could break above 325, 350 would be your next target. Let's go to the metals real quick because gold has been moving to the upside. PPS buy signal kicked in on October the 9th, and it hasn't even looked back. So any little pullback would have been an opportunity. That's this big trend line that it broke right through, which is this one right here from that high there. And it broke right through with somewhere around here. So it looks like it wants to test 2022. Once we get there, could it fail and go down? Possible. Can it kind of go sideways? Can it bump, push back, find support? Probably be a good entry when it retests it and then shoot up. Yep. And maybe test at least 2085. But, we'll have to see once we get to 2022. Silver, probably the weaker of gold, is now kissing this trend line right here and it's entering this triangle pattern. We need to at least break above the mobile band, which is 2392, at least to have a fighting chance to test 2547, which is this pivot high. Once we could get above there, there's another trend line, which is this one right here. And if we close above that, at least we could test at least probably 2641. But so far, the daily's looking good. We got a PPS buy signal on 1010, and it hasn't looked back yet. It's been going good on the short term, and this week so far is looking good. It'll get better once we could close above 2389. Copper, it looks like it wants to go lower, but it's finding support here at 355, so that's not bad. Could it find support here and bounce, and then try to fight this trend line and kind of keep fighting to at least get out of this, consolidation pattern? Is very possible, but this indicator is showing you that, it could probably even push lower. And we got to see if we could hold at least 350, 354. We can't hold that, then it's probably going to push lower. So I'll keep that on watch. I'm not going to short it because I just feel like we haven't even taken out here. The best part would have gone in here and here. And I got short earlier and that didn't play out. Got stopped out. I needed to really move and get out of the zone so I could really, decide what I want to do. But so far I just have it on my radar. Palladium, interesting. I'm really doing some research on palladium. We're making even new lows. 1099. Look at that. And it's pushing lower, and I'm timing some things, doing some cycles, but I'm not trading it yet because it could push lower, but I have it on my radar. big time. So I'm watching it. I looked at it back then, maybe a couple of months ago, early in this year, and thought there was a cycle low, and it was on the daily. That didn't play out because it just kind of went sideways and went lower, and now the weekly cycle is bottoming out, and that was the bigger picture one. But what's interesting is that on the daily, it's peaking out on the top. So I got to do a separate video on that to cover it. But I just wanted to kind of give you a little quick heads up on that. Let's see, where am I? Kind of rusty today. Platinum. Look at platinum real quick. Yeah, it's not trending. It's just chop fest. It's just super chop. This is just great for scalpers, trading, not scalpers, yeah, scalpers and intraday trading. But to get, something developing, so far it's just chop fest, back and forth, back and forth. I mean, at least you're holding 882. But you got a long ways to go, at least test 995. So you're kind of on the bottom. So, we probably got to look at cycles and seasonalities. But, I would just keep it on my radar. Let's look at the dollar, because the dollar is the one to keep an eye on. So the dollar is interesting because the dollar, we we hit this peak here, demarked knife candle, and we just going sideways, just sideways here. Not really selling. I mean, we tried it here, but not really retesting. The test is high of 107, just kind of going sideways. So it's kind of interesting. It's very quiet. I don't know if they're building a position here to then really move it, somewhere. But so far, it's just going sideways, while, at least gold is moving higher and strong due to the war and, the uncertainty that was going on. But the dollar's quiet, so I will keep an eye on the dollar. Let's see. What time is it? I don't even know. Let's see. We got maybe time for natural gas. Natural gas, as you can see, Tom D. Mark knife candle TD knife kicked in on 10-9, and that was a good signal. Worked out great. We topped out here, PPS sell signal, push below the 20 SMA, and you got the 50 coming here at 281, and you got this big level from the Kumo cloud at 272, and you got the linear regression channel here. So if you're thinking about buying natural gas, I suggest, and in my opinion, I think this is a good area right here. And you got the value area point of control, which is 265, 266. But also be aware of that there is a gap to be filled. And in order to find out this gap, we can see the monthly market profile, and you can see that little peak right there. What is that? 349. What was the high? 347. So the bears were waiting for us right here. And then they pounced, pushed us down. That's on the monthly market profile. On the weekly, you can see it a little better here. This thick range. That was going to be resistance. We pushed high enough, penetrated the bear camp, and then they smacked it down. We got a point of control right here, which is a 260. So it could probably continue going lower. Right now it's kind of holding on that support thing right here, which is 286. But that could change. I mean, we could have a bounce this week, but the bears are gonna test that level. So just be vigilant. And on the daily, you can see it a little better here. So I switched my VWAP to now this high because we have our low established. So you can see the moving averages or the anchored VWAP. So we got our low as support and we got the top as resistance. And we're hovering around this support area. You can see that on the daily is 265. So look at the gap. the gap band. Look at the gap band right here. Right at the point of control, 265. Can it go down there? Very possible. Also remember the daily cycles bottom when? Somewhere around in December. Daily cycles are down till December. If you use the consolidation technique where, however long it took us to go down, you stretch that out between time and price. And it shows also that December is very possible where this could turn around. So keep all those little things in mind, but keep an eye on that gap fill if it's going to play out. We could probably bounce and then maybe go down closer to December. I don't know. We'll see. Keep an eye on that and keep an eye on the gap fill. Let's go to, so this would be an area, but remember the gap fill is like what is the gap fill at? It's around, didn't I just say it? Hold on. Yeah, somewhere around 266. So when you look at this area right here, that's 272. Linear regressions channel is right here, so you're going to have to push lower. Point of control is 266. So yeah, so that right there. It's going to have to break through all these, maybe even kiss the 200. And these right here, the 10:01 hour in regards to time from the high of August 23rd. And you can see that normally I would think that, this would probably play out as a bottom since we were going up. You can see the sell pressure here. This one coming up on the 23rd. This is a 10, which is a 102. So I'll keep an eye on that. It could probably be that it'll hit here or a turning point there. Overnight, nothing may play out, but I got two of them right here in regards to the time. And I just want to see how it plays. So far, it looks like this got this big flush down here, but I want to see what's going to happen here, which is really the 23rd. And lastly, let's look at the point of control, midpoint chart. So for this week, $3.03. I could probably see a bounce and see if we could test that and close above it for next week. If we could close above that, that's bullish. But if we fail here and go down, it's bearish. That's the line in the sand for this week coming up, 303. Targets to the downside, 288, 280, and 272. As you can see, we hit it here. We were fluctuating, and then it even pushed lower. So this was an extreme sell-off. So I could see maybe a bounce to this week, but this would be your target. Let's see if we could close above it. Next target to the downside would be the 274, and obviously the gap fill of 266, somewhere around there. So at least we go down here, it'll fill it, and then then we decide if it just wants to go sideways, wait till December, and then really do a low and then go up, or fill it and then retrace and test 347. We'll see what happens over that trend line, finding support here, but we'll see. And you got that daily pivot here, 287, so that's where it stalled. But we got that gap fill. Let's see, square of 9. I'll end it with a goodie. So this is an example of my Twitter. I couldn't do a video just on the square of 9. I did send a tweet out. Keep an eye on 347. Why? Because you got 194 coming right here. You got the 302 high coming right here. So this is going to be a natural area of resistance using the square of 9 technique. So in Gann theory, what you want to do is find the cause and effect. Things are all relating with price and time. So we know we have a low on 194. This is very important on the square of 9. If you have a 302 high, which is this high right here, that's very important. So this is very important to predict price action into the future. This is very important to predict price action into the future. So if you know what you're doing and you know these numbers, when price get close to these areas, you know what to do. And I sent a tweet out, so keep an eye on that. If we go close above that, we'll push higher and we'll kiss 352 and then 361, but it stalled here. And now we're pushing back. What's the low that we have right now currently is a 288. So this is where we're at right now. 288. This is at right here. If we're going to push slower and fill in that gap, that's 266. That's right here. So anywhere between 266, 261, 260 is very possible, or possible swing low, and then see what happens. I'm going to sign out. Hopefully you liked this video. It was very full of data, information, maybe not all the stuff you guys really like the statistical calendar and all that other stuff. That takes me a while to do, and I've been busy this week, so I'm giving you love with just filling you in with all the things I'm noticing. But keep an eye on the equities, on the indices also. The NASDAQ, the S&P, the Russell. The Russell looks ugly, very ugly. So keep an eye on that if you're trading stocks or whatnot. And I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on the dollar, on the energy sector, and the metals.